This is ASS Breaking News.
Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar!
Good evening. I'm Brock Jurgensen with ASS News. Ask Man Bin Lincoln is currently on assignment at Mayo Palooza with Damon Toll's mom. Yes, Mayo Palooza. Told it was going to be a 3-week assignment, and it turns out he's been gone for 2 months. Joining us tonight, Sam Brinton, the former Department of Energy official, was fired this past week for stealing luggage at the airports. And Sam Brinton joins us now. Sam, assalamu alaikum.
Well, alaikum salam.
Wow, you could speak the tongue.
Well, I can move the tongue. I don't know if I can speak it.
What is that currently in your is that your bag?
This is my bag. I did not steal this bag. This is my bag.
Oh, that's good. That. Are you sure?
This is mine. I didn't steal anything from anybody. I mean, you have to understand, with the way I am and how I like to dress and the things I like to take with me, I get confused over other people's bags. But this one for sure, this one is mine.
Is that a wand? Is that a magician's wand in your?
Yes, of course. That's what that is. I like to do little reading time with the kids, and I use magic. Can you show us?
Can you teach us a spell?
Yes, and Dick be gone.
Wow. So that's how. Is that like what you usually say in front of a kid of K through third graders? That's how it starts? Well,
if you believe in the science and everything, it actually helps improve their reading skills.
Well, you are. I mean, you are a nuclear physicist, so I guess I got to trust the science here. Yes. But that's not the reason why we brought you on. Obviously, this is one of those exit interviews that almost seem inevitable to tell us your experience, but that's not really why we're here. We're here because we want to go through some of the bags you stole, and I hope that you can help run us through it, run us through it good and hard.
The luggages, the luggages just look like the ones that I carry, and surprisingly, they also have similar contents within them that I use as well. So, you can see where I got the confusion. Maybe not this one, but that's my ball is red, not blue.
Oh, okay. I was also going to say the clothes look a little bit too pastel-y for your taste. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's not what I like to wear or anything like that. I mean, it's similar size and everything. I do like to use those on Fuzzy's mom from time to time. But
is that when you're in? Is that when you're in like man's clothes or women's clothes? Like, or what are you in right now? What is it? Who are you wearing?
Right now, I'm wearing how I feel today, and how I feel today is like a woman.
Hey, no judging. It's 2022. We don't judge. Okay.
No.
Any one of you who judges this, they, them, shame on you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's her, she.
Hershey. Oh, Hershey squirts.
Yes.
Beautiful. Speaking of Hershey squirts, what can you tell us about this? This is a second bag you stole.
These are the many different. Like I also like to take my wands with me when I'm going from place to place, and these are the many wands that I use
as any wizard would.
Reading with children. I mean, as you can see, it's easily confusing with the type of wands that I use, and I didn't mean to steal any of these things. It was not my intent, honestly. Although I really like the pink one.
The pink one has a nice touch to it. Sometimes it's a sensitive and jolting touch, but depends on where you put it, of course. Here's the next bag you stole. What can you tell us about this? What did you do with this bag?
Well, here you can honestly see that I'm being responsible and safe. Responsible and safe. This bag is for Fuzzy's mom, and I like to be responsible and really safe when with her.
And is that a mask that I'm seeing?
Yeah, that one is for Yi.
For Yi?
Yeah, that's Yi's mask.
Oh. As in Kanye West.
And then I use the wand to help him with his Nazi history.
Oh, okay. All right. But it's good that you have a mask. At least you won't get COVID wearing that, right?
Right. Absolutely. Safety
Wonderful.
first. That's the way. See,
Safety
I
first.
don't understand why I was fired over all of this. I mean, as you can see, I'm a totally normal human being that should be in control of nuclear information and also in the administration for the United States.
Final bag. This is the last bag you stole. This was the final straw.
This looks like a bag that belonged to Candace.
Candace? Candace who?
When a person can be married in the morning and thrown out of a restaurant for being gay in the afternoon, this is still wrong.
Now we're going to town hall into a grievance session.
Make some noise for the richest man in the world.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's going on, Habibis? I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jay Kobbe.
And we're the Habibi Bros. Welcome to another episode of Habibi Power Hour. Jay, how you doing, Habibi?
I am doing beautifully.
You can like and subscribe this video if you're not already grossed out and disgusted by that cold open, which I'm sure many of you already are.
I think it was very informative.
It was informative and informational, and Jay's still rocking the lipstick. I gotta say, that shade looks good on you. It really brings out the color of your eyes.
It's not bad. I did half of the makeup on my own. I mean, it's not too bad, right?
No, it's actually a really good
if you
look.
had to scale at 1 to 10, I wonder, Habibi's drop a
69.
comment. 1 to 10,
69.
how good is my makeup?
I give it a 69 out of 10. You know this.
You and I will always give each other 69.
That's actually true. Essentially 100% of the time. Habibis, it's been a week. A lot of news happening. Let's just try to get through it. We'll take it one piece at a time. Of course, this past week we got a lot of. It's been a bad week for Sam's, right? Right, Jay? It's been a very bad week.
Yeah. Anyone named Sam? It's been a week.
It's been a week. Sam Brinton, who you already saw in our cold open, now former Biden official, was fired after. Is there any other way of putting it, Jay? I mean, it's just I wish. That's actually.
That's
actually him. Let's hold on. Let's get a good look. Let's solo Jay here, and let's put him next to. Oh, come on. Here, hold on. Let me.
It's not too bad. I'm sorry I took the makeup off. Well, half of it, anyways. But it's uncanny how much us bald people really do look alike.
Than you are. So there's that. It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. I mean, he was a
pretty good.
He was a pretty controversial hire to begin with. And
Sam Brinton, Jay, Wait,
Sam
hold on.
Brinton.
Are you responding to? Are you so locked in character that you're responding to Sam Brinton now?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that not my name?
Wow, I never thought we'd come to this point. Come.
Oh.
All right. So Sam Brinton, who was charged in December for grand larceny in Nevada. He was the former Deputy Assistant Secretary for Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition in the Office of Nuclear Energy. And I wish, Jay, that's who was in charge. Any person.
Did they do anything? Did he do anything notable anyways while in office? Like, was there anything that he actually did that was beneficial in terms of waste management?
Well, typically anyone who is in waste management is in the mafia, are they not?
Depends on where you're at, but yeah.
New Jersey?
Oh, absolutely.
Man. Think about it like that.
But isn't Jersey like just filled of people who failed to get into the mafia? Isn't the mafia like New York?
Hold on, Jay. Hold on.
In Jersey. Isn't Jersey like the trash?
Jay, I think I know the issue here. Look at that. Birthday, September 11th.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I had no idea Sam Brinton was a Habibi.
We got him.
This Sam Brinton did 9/11.
Sam Brinton did 9/11. Fuck. I mean, what do you have? Like, what damages do you have to go through in life in order to turn out the way like that?
Being born on September 11th.
Kate Hyde over on Rumble with the question, did he do anything notable and waste management? And she's like, yes, he managed to waste everyone's time.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Habibi right there. Thank you, Kate. Comment.
We did waste a lot of time already talking about this individual, but it's not really it's not really about the individual, Jay. It's what it represents, right? First of all, I just want to show you Sam Brinton's mugshot. This is what Sam Brinton looked like as he was getting arrested. Obviously, it looked like he was coming from
for a person who's trans. They really have or she or it really has like a horrible eyebrow person.
Oh yeah, terrible.
Horrible.
But
Absolutely
let's compare
terrible.
Jay. But let's compare Sam Brinton pre-transition.
There he is.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Just beautiful.
Like, why would you ruin yourself? I mean, you can the beard needs a little bit more testosterone in it, but I mean,
yeah. Well,
why would you do that to yourself?
Enjoy retirement, Sam Brinton.
So what was it that he did again? What was it why was he arrested 2 times on 2 different occasions?
For stealing luggage.
For stealing women's luggage, right? Like both times was women.
I actually have no idea if it's just women's luggage. It's whatever bag he thought looked good.
Like, did it even look like his bag? Was there any excuse?
No.
As to why he did this, or is he just sick? I mean, we know he's sick. Like, he is mentally ill, so it could be just like a problem he has where he just like to steal random luggage from people.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. Is it supposed to make sense, Jay? No, of course not. Some people do things just because they think they can do them, or they feel they're entitled to do them. By the way, I don't know if you get this joke. Do you know who Greg Price is, Jay?
Yeah, I do. I know Greg Price.
Right.
And for the viewers who don't know Greg Price, he's a terminally online person on Twitter who works. Does he work for Turning Point, or who does he work? Who does he work with?
I think he's at X Strategies now. He was at the Daily Caller before. I've met him. He's a nice guy.
Right.
He's actually a really like funny, goofy guy. And we like to give him shit. I don't think he's been on the show.
No,
But
not
we
yet.
are friends.
Honestly, if he goes and gets his eyebrows done in the same way, it would just turn out just exactly the same way.
Yeah. But the worst thing about him is that he's a Philly guy. That's a real knock on. I don't know if we could associate with anyone from Philly. I'm sorry.
No, well, at least not anymore.
At least not anymore. And the other Sam, Jay, the other Sam is having a really bad week too, and that is Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, I don't know if you know who Sam Bankman-Fried is, but he is Maxine Waters' fuck buddy, as well as Caroline Ellison, that absolute queen.
Absolute queen. So, for people who don't know, SBF was part of Alameda and
FTX. He was the CEO. Yeah, he was the CEO of FTX.
CEO of both.
Yeah.
And
no, he wasn't the CEO of Alameda. I think it was Caroline Ellison.
Well, he founded Alameda, and then in order for them to do this scam and pretend like Alameda and FTX had nothing to do with each other, he appointed his fuck buddy as the CEO of Alameda while he was running FTX.
Right.
And he ran away to the Bahamas, and finally they've arrested him, and now he's being extradited to the United States.
That's right.
Over 8 different counts, all relating to fraud and conspiracy to commit fraud. And also a notable one was donation fraud, or on the massive donations he gave to the Democratic Party.
So he tried to poo-poo that idea that he was a massive Democratic donor by saying, I gave as much money to the Republicans as I gave to Democrats, okay? Sorry,
that's what he was trying to say.
That's what he actually sounds like, by the way.
No, that's exactly how, and it's exactly how you think somebody running crypto would sound like.
It's true. I'm hearing an echo, Jay. You want to put on some headphones?
Yeah.
While you put on headphones, I'm going to just let the YouTube audience know that basically we're going to cut off the stream on YouTube and go exclusively on Rumble. So if you haven't already, go over to our Rumble page. I think we have a link in the stream in the description. If you haven't already, go ahead and check that shit out. We will see you over there, all 11 people. Sorry, 13.
Well, the party's actually happening over in Rumble. We got
1,300 people watching right now.
Yeah, aren't they?
Welcome, Habibis. Welcome, Habibis.
You might want to turn your mic down just a little
bit. Oh yeah, I'm hearing my mic is too loud. Sorry.
You're fine.
This is what I get for being a boomer, right, Jay?
Yes.
There's a boomer moment.
And the funny thing is like we never learn our lessons when we're boomers. We are always.
This is true. We almost always have a boomer moment. Anyways, getting back to Sam Bankman-Fried, Jay, this is one of those things where this man is now facing up to 115 years in prison if convicted on all 8 counts.
Alhamdulillah.
Our thoughts and prayers obviously go out to Maxine Waters in this difficult time.
Right.
Who, I not gonna lie to you, Jay, I've never seen any member of Congress, let alone any elderly black woman, simp as hard for a young white man, a nerdy white man, more than Maxine Waters for SBF. That's
right. I mean, she blew a kiss to the guy when she was waving goodbye. It was absolutely astonishing to watch. It was weird, and it made no sense. And for them to say that they're not going to go for a hearing or anything was weird as well. And especially now that he's being arrested, you would think at least they would come out and say the reason why they didn't do it was because there was investigations happening and all that kind of stuff, and they were waiting for this to come out. But none of that was said or clarified on why they said they didn't want to do it. And I think this case is very important, especially for the crypto space. And I think it's going to have a lot of people realize that crypto is like most, I'm going to say 99% of the crypto that is out there, that people are running these projects are there to just scam and fraud you out of your money. We have seen this time and time again happening over and over and over again. They take your money, they use their money on themselves, and they use it to do risky moves and lie to you about it. So anytime somebody is going to tell you they're going to get you a 10x return or get you 10% every month or anything like that,
run.
You run. That's red flags right there. That is absolute fucking.
Oh my God. Is this on the locals? This is on the locals chat. Siraj Brinton. Do we already have a Siraj Bankman Fried? There's probably going to be one soon.
It's going to come out.
It's coming. Come. So I actually really like how this is kind of all playing out, because all of the moral superiority that Democrats and liberals supposedly have lorded over everyone else, whether anyone to the left of to the right of Stalin, they lorded over. They basically demonized anyone who even had like a moment where they decided to question the status quo, whether it be about COVID or the 2020 election or anything that the Biden administration has done. Those people are labeled like white supremacists, or labeled QAnon, they're labeled, every name on the book. Just look at what's happening with the Twitter files. We'll get to talk about that in just a few moments. But the Washington Post stealth edited an article where they labeled Matt Taibbi and Barry Weiss as conservative journalists, and then they went and switched it back to being journalists, which goes to show you that the status quo, if Matt Taibbi and Barry Weiss are not conservative, okay? They're not. And just because they were assisting in this, or working together on this Twitter files dump, they were labeled as conservatives, which goes to show you that being a conservative in this day and age, at least to the establishment, means that you are against them. You are against the narrative. You should be shunned.
Yes, and they try to make it like this label is you are a conspiracy theorist, or you are not speaking in truth. They use it to downplay or to delegitimize the information you're trying to put out, or the reporting you're doing, and the reporting that Taibbi and Weiss is doing. They're really trying to downplay it. They're trying to silence it. They're trying to make sure none of their readers actually go and find this information, because that's the other reason why they're not reporting on it. Instead of like really going into what the Twitter files is, they go and try to label Taibbi and Weiss instead.
Yeah,
instead of
they're being labeled. Same with Michael Schellenberger, who actually ran as a Democrat for the mayor of San Francisco.
No, governor of California.
Oh, he was running for governor. That's right, of California. So yeah, these people, look, it's not rocket science. These people really are just that insane.
They are.
But it's so insane that actual like prominent liberals who aren't afraid of speaking out, and when they see bullshit, are speaking out and calling bullshit, and those people in turn are being labeled as conservatives. It's really astonishing. I mean, our own Habibti, Eliza Blue, who has been blowing up recently, and very proud of her. Congratulations to her on sort of getting that shine. She's been on the show a couple times, maybe 3 times, I should say. We were trying to get her back on, but she's busy AF. And so she has been combating child sexual exploitation materials and human trafficking pretty much as long as you and I, Jay, have both known her, which is a little over a year. And basically, she's been very successful in moving the needle and getting Twitter, and at least Elon Musk of all people, to actually listen to survivor advocates like her. And she is a former survivor of human trafficking. to actually tackle the issue of like that type of exploitative material. And the corporate media, Washington Post, fucking Taylor Lorenz, Jay, are going after Eliza Blue and saying that she's like this massive conspiracy theorist, and she's been on like all these like horrific shows like InfoWars. Ooh, InfoWars. Jay, at this point you have to ask yourself, who is being hurt by Eliza's advocacy in combating human trafficking and child sexual exploitation materials? It's
journalists are, and the reason why they are is because her combating the sex trafficking and also child pornography and child exploitation on Twitter is giving a legitimate standing for Elon running Twitter.
Oh yeah,
and they can't have that. They cannot have anything that's going to shine a good light on Elon and Elon taking over Twitter. They cannot have that. They can't. No. Twitter has been like their toy. It's been their. That's why when you're seeing the Twitter files, they like to say it's a nothing burger. They like to come out and say this and that and all this type of stuff, and downplay what Twitter was doing when they were silencing people that they didn't want to listen to, when they were pushing random terms of service to legitimize why they were silencing stories or banning people for trying to share certain information, or trying to ban people for COVID information and stuff that didn't follow the narrative that they wanted to push. And now that Elon has it and is showing that this is exactly what was going on, they need to downplay it in any way, shape, or form. So anyone that is going to be partnering with Elon or running it with Elon or doing anything with Elon that can be seen as good, they're going to try to downplay it. And the way that they're going to do it is by attacking the person for what they've tweeted, instead of actually reporting on what they're trying to advocate. When you look at these reports or look at these other tweets from journalists and everything, they don't talk about what work she's doing. They only want to try and talk about like, oh, she's been on InfoWars, or oh, she's tweeted out that the world is being run by pedo rings, which time and time again we're showing.
I mean,
it's with all the information is going from A to B is kind of like a cakewalk. It's not not far fetched.
At this point, like, they are now going to associate anything. Like even this whole like gays against groomers account that's out there on both Twitter and Instagram, that's been like suspended many times, kind of like libs of TikTok. Anytime that they've been banned, they basically argue that this gays against groomers group is anti-LGBTQ because they're calling out pedophiles. And when it's legit, like honestly, these are people like who are fed up of being associated with being labeled as pedophiles, that they're just like, you know what, we're gonna just like, maybe I wouldn't call it friendly fire because at this point they're basically enemies, but basically clean up their own house and say and get the pedos out of their circle, because at this point you have people like Taylor Lorenz, Ben Collins, all these quote unquote disinformation reporters and tech reporters who have been very, very, they were,
very butthurt over Twitter takeover.
They've been very butthurt about Twitter takeover. They were basically bumping uglies with the previous Twitter regime, and it's at this point you have to wonder, Jay, are they doing it because they fear losing power, which is obviously the case, or the other alternative being they want pedophilia to just like run rampant. They want to protect the pedos.
I think it's more to do with the power that they had.
It's the pedos, Jay.
Well, I mean the pedos, sure, it can be, but I really think that it's to your first point, because losing power is something that they do not want and information, and being able to control the narrative and control what information is being put out, to control policy, control agenda, control the narrative. Losing all of that is going to really dampen their reach and the way people are going to perceive what they're trying to push. I mean, before when COVID was first hit, we couldn't ask questions. You ask questions, you're labeled. You ask questions, you get banned. You show different information, you're banned. You show that, there is no correlation between fucking getting COVID and being 6 feet apart from each other. There's no correlation of wearing masks and saving yourself from COVID. They lied about the vaccine and its effectiveness. And now that DeSantis wants to actually go after these people who fucking lied about it, people are calling him anti-vax. It has nothing to do with the vaccine. None of these things right now. They're blinded by what the argument actually is. The argument is that these people lied, and their lies pushed policy, and these policies cause people to lose their jobs, cause people to lose their lives, cause people to keep their kids from going to school. These people need to be held accountable for pushing these lies. And honestly, it is hard to see that they did not knowingly push these lies, especially from the pharmaceuticals themselves.
Right. So let's like take a deeper dive into the Twitter files. I didn't have a chance to look over every single individual thread, but I got up to, I think, through halfway of Michael Schellenberger's Twitter files dump. I think that was part 4.
Right.
And what we saw in that, at least there are 3 parts dedicated to just the suspension of Donald Trump. And the first part of that, it was Matt Taibbi kind of explaining the lead up from up to the 2020 election all the way up until January 6th. And repeatedly oh my God, is this Siraj Bankman Habib? I love how we'd like pause and like the screen
and just marvel,
just to like marvel at this work of art from Prison Mitch. That's beautiful. That's honestly, that warms my heart. I might change my profile, my profile picture on Twitter to that, just because of look how good my hair looks, Jay.
Absolutely.
With the beard, God. I fuck me, Jay.
Oh, absolutely.
With that hair, yeah, absolutely.
You should just grow it out. I mean, before you lose it, grow it out.
That's true. Maybe I will. Anyways, now where was I? Twitter files. Okay. Lead up to the 2020 presidential election, Yoel Roth, along with many other of these content moderators, if you saw the exchanges they were having, were constantly dealing with each Trump tweet and each conservative or pro-Trump tweet on a case-by-case basis. And ultimately what they ended up doing was they refined the rules so that they acted faster and faster and faster to basically label and deboost and de-amplify any of these tweets from people like Jim Jordan, Mike Huckabee, Jody Heiss, although Jody Heiss I don't think is anyone worth remembering, who's just a congressman. A conservative congressman. But in any event, what we've been seeing from James Woods, another person, Dinesh D'Souza, a bunch of these other people, all of them getting deboosted and de-amplified, and some of them getting 12-hour suspensions and then permabanned. It's basically come to the point where we know that this stuff has been happening, and everybody now today has been gaslighting us who have been actually thinking that the Twitter file dumps are a big deal, to then say, oh, we always knew this was happening. Jay, I mean, like, at this point, I'm ready to like run through a motherfucker's face.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and the funny thing is like people were banging this drum and talking about it and saying it was happening, and they all lied to everyone about it. And the common excuse was, oh, these are the terms of service. they're going against the terms of service and all that kind of stuff. And where it really didn't hold any water when you're talking about terms of service was especially the case when it came to stories, the Hunter Biden laptop story. And then they changed their TOS when COVID came out to be able to just ban people for asking questions on COVID. They would change it on a whim and go on it. And these Twitter files also showed that a lot of it was nothing to do with algorithms whatsoever, because they would excuse it to, it's a computer program, it's algorithms. They look for the words or the tweets and they do it. It was actual human beings that went up and made those decisions, especially right. We find out Yoel Roth and Vagina were very involved in making sure that different accounts got banned, different accounts got deboosted, what kind of content they needed to shut off. All of that was done by a decision from management, even though they came out repeatedly over and over again and lied to everyone's faces about how this was actually being run.
Yeah. I think what really is obviously the biggest takeaway in all of this is just how overbearing these content moderators were at Twitter. Yoel Roth et al., Vagina Gade, every single one of these fucks would hover over anyone that they deemed to be a threat to their grip on power, i.e. Democrats running the show. And they would excuse any Democrat, whether it be from the Biden campaign, whether it be an activist, you name it, they would excuse their actions on Twitter if they were spreading what many would perceive, if it was tweeted by someone on the right who was pro-Trump, it would immediately be labeled as election misinformation. It would be considered a quote-unquote threat to democracy. That there were countless examples, and one thing I want to show you is this example of when they acted specifically on one individual. Why can't I fucking find it? This is gonna kill me, Jay. This happens every single time. They specifically were looking at the issue of mail-in voting, because in the lead up to the 2020 election, everyone was obviously focused on COVID and whether, it was safe to even go in person to vote. But let me just show you, every time, Trump said something like, oh, it's a rigged election, they would flag and label that tweet, and they would not let people basically be able to share and repost it. And if they shared the screenshots of it and it would say someone who was more sympathetic to the president's point of view, President Trump's point of view, then they were ended up being banned and suspended. It was so over the top that you could go over. Oh, here's the perfect example. Let me share my screen.
And what's really amazing about that too is that any claims of Russia collusion or any claims of Russia hacking or any claims of any of this stuff was boosted. They weren't deboosted. Yeah.
Right, they're boosted, or even just by the fact that they weren't touched. That was basically a tip of the hat saying we agree with you because we will not censor you. Therefore, you get basically a wink and a nod.
Right. And also another thing to your point here, when you're showing this, any claims of SCOTUS being delegitimized is election denialism.
Yeah. So let me read. Denialism. Yeah. So back at this ABC News tweet from October 27, 2020, specifically highlighting Chief Justice John Roberts administering the judicial oath to Amy Coney Barrett as she had officially joined the Supreme Court, replacing the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Elijah Daniel quote tweets them saying, "This is so disgusting and terrifying. They're going to try to steal the election. You have 1 week. If you haven't voted yet, don't mail, drop it off or vote early. If you can't vote, make sure your family is. Unless they're Trump supporters, just let them forget. Hashtag vote them out." Look how the mods respond to this. One of these people said, "Hey team, can I get your opinion on this tweet? This is an edge case with commentary and encouraging voters not to vote by mail. I believe we should label it And then Patrick Conlon, who's one of these content mods along with Yoel Roth, says, I think that I'd not bother with labeling this one. It's still encouraging people to vote, but expresses the concern that mail ballots might not make it in time, which seems fair this close to the election date. Still encouraging people to turn in their ballots in person or to vote in person. Okay, thank you, Patrick. They just not even a single ounce of pushback. It's
not at all.
It's absolutely insane. And it continues to it gets even worse. The fact that you have I'm such a boomer. I had the share screen and then I removed it. Of course, this is what
Absolutely.
I do. Rick Rossner responding about the U.S. Postal Service, saying that they are specifically, deliberately trying to basically steal the election for Donald Trump. And this is how they responded. Yoel Roth literally responds saying, not seeing the violation here. And then Patrick Collins saying, I wouldn't label. I think that's encouraging people to vote, but to be realistic that a mail ballot might not make it in time. It's literally them saying, we're not going to label this because they're right and we agree with them.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is like, that's not the only thing that they were saying. They're saying that the USPS is colluding with with the Trump administration to not mail your votes in. Like this is an even bigger conspiracy. And it's as big of a conspiracy as saying like the election was stolen. It's as big as the conspiracy as saying, people were allowing dead people to vote, like all of that kind of stuff. It's as big as all the stuff that they will label. And they're not going to label. And
they wouldn't even label the former Attorney General Eric Holder under Barack Obama, who tweeted in October 27, 2020. It's too late to use the mails, given the Supreme Court rulings. I urge everyone to now vote in person, early vote, or use drop boxes. Protect your health, but don't let the court and the deliberately crippled Postal Service deprive you of your most precious civil right. Plan your vote. And then this is how they responded, Jay. Yoel Ross says, hey folks, can we reverse the label on this tweet? Because they originally labeled it as election information.
And then he's like, everything in it is factually accurate.
And then it's working on reversing it now. And then dude. And like,
look at the
turnaround time. 8:56 in the morning to They finished that shit in 12 minutes. Resolved in 12 minutes.
It's because everything we were talking about in the beginning of all of this and saying that Twitter does not fairly, moderate their content. We were told that that's false. We were told that's false because it's used with an algorithm. It's not, and then other people review it. But we're shown that they have a fucking team of people that go and physically label all the tweets themselves, that physically review it themselves, that make sure that they can attach a label to each of the accounts themselves that they disagree with, to make sure they come up to them to review and to make sure to label as quickly as possible. While everyone else can make these fucking outrageous claims about election, about the USPS, Postal Service, all of these things, as long as they are on the left, they have a free pass to say whatever the fuck they wanted on Twitter.
Yeah.
And every journalist was blinded by this, willingly blinded by this, because it helped their side and it helped people that they agreed with and helped the narrative that they wanted to push out there.
No, it's gotten to the point where you're looking at how a lot of these, I mean, it all comes to a head, right? Because, we talk about Sam Brinton, Sam Bankman-Fried, now the Twitter files. All of that sort of culminates to the point where I think Kristen Sinema, upon learning all this shit, was like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm leaving the Democratic Party, which she did this past week. She announced that she is actually going to be independent, which may have implications on the Democratic majority of the Senate in the next Congress. Jay, this is as close to us simping for a politician as it gets, but let's simp for this politician at the moment. After all, she is a literal angel in a cesspool of demons.
And
Honestly, she's the most insane person to ever be elected to the Senate, and yet she's like, "Yo, even this is too. Yo, even Democrats are way too crazy for me."
right, and it just keeps on showing more and more that they have been abusing their power and using their contacts within Twitter and using their contacts within the media to push certain narratives and to push falsehoods, literal falsehoods onto the public. And it's so hard to be able to siphon through information now because of how involved it is within politics. Journalism is not free of politics anymore. And it hasn't been for a very long time, and especially the people who are in it. And now we have it infected with all of these other tech companies, information companies, media companies that are there basically to be paid to lie to you. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing it over and over again. And they want to pretend that they're the gatekeepers of truth, that they stand on this moral high ground because the information that they were able to suppress that doesn't support their narrative is labeled as false or conspiracy theory by the people they collude with. And that's what this is. This is all collusion with the media, with tech companies, with politicians in order to suppress information to the public. And that's what we're finding out right now. That's the biggest story that's coming out of it.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that anyone who was involved in this, in the Twitter files dump, I'm sorry, who's basically like a person of interest, Vagina Gade, Yoel Roth, Parag, who was the previous CEO before Elon took over. They specifically engaged in regime change, and the fact that they were so, it reminds me of how the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, surveys and or surveils all of its citizens and basically dictates whether whatever you say is acceptable speech or not. I know Twitter is a private company, but it is the biggest, it is one of the largest tech platforms that people consider to be the public square. It was probably I'm not saying it's bigger than Facebook. Facebook is obviously still bigger. But you have Democrats now who are still advocating for Facebook to extend the ban of Donald Trump. And I think Glenn Greenwald pointed this out, that if this happened in any other country, like in the Middle East or in Africa or in Eastern Europe, we would call that country despotic and basically a tyrannical dictatorship, because
Absolutely.
getting one party to silence its opposition and wield and weaponize the tech platforms that are used to spread out the message of communication, that's a big fucking deal. That is not nothing. That is, I mean, at this point, for them to be willingly going along with it, that's basically fascism. I mean that in the literal sense. Most people are like,
Yes.
oh, fascists are just all Nazis. No, yeah, there is that level of fascism there, but it's that collusion, that cooperation, that willingly doing the government's bidding, or between public and private partnerships. That is some scary ass shit.
If this was reverse, you would have article upon article upon article about how the Republicans stole the election.
Yeah. Jay, God, you're looking so hot in that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can't compare. I
Jay
cannot
Ellison.
compare. I know what we're masturbating to later on tonight.
Hey, this is definitely my proudest fap tonight. This one goes out to you, Jay.
Oh, hell yeah.
And hopefully
make sure you shoot it on the screen, please. I beg of you.
Jay, I consider this target practice. Okay, I haven't been to the range in a while. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. No, we do. But it does not. It's not crazy to say that, like you were saying, it's not crazy to say that the Democrats and Twitter were actively fighting for regime change in suppressing information and amplifying disinformation.
Yeah, they were. This is essentially 100% the case. Now, one thing I want to highlight here is the fact that as we're on the topic of a lot of these big tech companies, there have been a trio of lawmakers in the House and Senate who have introduced new legislation that aims to ban TikTok from operating in the United States. This new bill, introduced by Senator Marco Rubio, who is the top Republican on the Senate Intelligence Committee, and a bipartisan pair of congressmen in the House, reflects the latest escalation by the U.S. policymakers against the Chinese-owned short-form video app. TikTok has faced doubts about its ability to safeguard U.S. user data from the Chinese government. So ByteDance, which owns TikTok, is basically forced by the Chinese Communist Party to share its user data with the Chinese Communist Party. And at this point, you don't know how much data the Chinese Communist Party has of each and every one of us. Some people are like, I don't really care. I'm not hiding everything. It's actually a big deal. How like your data being shared with anyone, let alone the Chinese Communist Party.
Even shared with the United States government is a fucking big deal. But it's being shared with China is even worse. And the pushback that the Trump administration got for wanting to ban TikTok was insane. Absolutely insane, especially from Z Dicksucker Taylor Lorenz. It was absolutely fucking atrocious the way that they were trying to pretend that TikTok was nothing more than just an app sharing apparatus, and it was allowing a lot of these kids that she wanted to go to parties to and stuff because she's a pedo to go viral and actually get a certain amount of fame that also would pretty much destroy these children for thinking that what they were getting was actual real legitimate fame and being boosted. I mean, there's a lot of other like success stories within TikTok that has helped people, but the implications of the information that China is being able to accumulate is a lot heavier.
You have to ask yourself, do the positives outweigh the negatives? And right now it's looking like the negatives are far outweighing the positives of it.
Right. I mean, we had when we found out that the NSA was listening into our fucking phone conversations and the amount of information that they were collecting from our cell phones and everything, there was an outrage that led to different kind of policy changes that led to us being more aware of what's going on with our information and our government. And now we want to just turn a blind eye for China. It makes zero sense for that to happen. And the thing is, like, we need to take this a step further. Any Chinese company running in the United States needs to be banned. Any Chinese citizen needs to be deported out of the United States. I'm not even fucking playing. I am being absolutely fucking serious here. Unless they denounce their citizenship to the CCP and become American, they need to be deported. Any Chinese company needs to be deported. We need to run sanctions on American companies who are doing business in China and doing business with the Chinese government. Doing business in China and business with the Chinese government is the same thing. You also have
to ban sales of land sales to Chinese citizens and Chinese entities, corporations, government entities,
any of it. It's wild to me that we're not stopping any of them from doing it.
I know. Look, some people will say, Siraj and Jay, you guys are insane, and we'll say, yeah, we are. But on this particular point, when it comes to the Chinese, they're not your friend. I'm not saying that any like American of Chinese descent is not your friend. That's not what I'm saying. Look, Jay, you and I, given your affinity for Asians, you have no problems with actual Chinese people. It's not the people. It is
Women.
the government.
I have no problem with the Chinese women. Yes.
But I mean, Jay and I obviously.
No, anything else I have a problem with.
Okay, that's even their food.
I like the orange chicken.
That's fair.
No, the thing is with the Chinese government and the way the Chinese government is run, the whole thing needs to be.
They're exporting communism to us.
Well, not only they are, and also a lot of the citizens that are coming in and taking advantage of the United States and our different policies when it comes to immigration and immigrants and all that kind of stuff. It is actually going to be a greater harm towards us in the long run. And that's what the game that they're playing. They're playing the long run game. And we have Chinese citizens that are here that are absolutely agents of the CCP. We have
American citizens and members of Congress, Jay. Let's not mix words. We have white cisgender men in Congress from the state of California who literally slept with a CCP spy. And you're telling me I don't blame him. I don't blame him. And people want to Fang, I would bang. That's right.
Absolutely. But the fact that we are so lax when it comes to China and these matters is a detriment to the United States as a whole. Like our safety and everything is being dampered every time we do dealings with China, every time we are allowing trade with China. All of that is crazy. And you would suspect that the loudest people who want to talk about oppression, who want to talk about people being displaced, all of that would be banging the drums the loudest on wanting to throw sanctions on China, wanting to pressure our allies from doing dealings with China, over making sure that they are not rewarded for their policies and the way that they treat their own citizens as well. And the fact that they are spying on every one of us and every one of our allies.
Yeah. Well, and also all of our allies are also spying on all of us too. Let's be real.
Right. Here. And a lot of people want to talk about like free trade and like, oh, we have to allow it for free trade and all that. It's not free trade. It's not free. We're not trading in a free type of fucking level field when it comes to China. When we want to export shit to China and they want to export shit to us, it's not level. It's not.
On top of that, every single one of our like goods are being made by Chinese slaves or
exactly right.
Other places.
Right. If we're talking about like we have to be a representative of freedom and unshackling people from slavery and all of this type of bullshit, the fact that we just allow U.S. companies to use slave labor to give us products and all and make profits off of them and all of that kind of stuff is a huge hypocrisy. Is a huge hypocrisy. The same thing with the UN, allowing them on any of the council is just a hypocrisy that is beyond belief, and we're throwing money at it.
We're throwing money on it. Although the UN did one good thing, and that's a rarity, a rare UN dub, and that is they booted Iran from the Human Rights Council. Is that what it was?
Yeah, the Human Rights Council,
which is really saying something. If the UN thinks you're fucking up. And really, the UN doesn't think anyone's fucking up. In fact, they encourage people to fuck up even more. Right. If the UN's had enough of you, then that probably means you probably fucked up. So the Iranian Revolution continues. And now that as the World Cup wraps up, Morocco unfortunately fell to France in the semifinals, and there will not be France.
It's
I am French.
Smelly pussy. It's smelly pussy. It's not France.
There won't be a Sharia takeover of Europe this holiday season, unfortunately.
Or of the world.
But Sharia will rise again, Jay. I have a good feeling about this. Inshallah. Coming up on the hour here, we're probably going to quickly wrap up here and take a Take some of your A1 tip top first class messages and texts and super chats and rumble rants.
As we do that, I need to go take a piss.
Of course, he's going to go take a piss. Yeah, he did. Yeah, go ahead and join the Habibi Bros premium chat as we currently. Oh my God, she's not even wearing pants. Of course, she's not. As we were saying, Prison Mitch says Siraj is going to start up beating up Asians in the street. That's a fancy way of Prison Mitch saying I'm just going to be masturbating in the street. I am half Asian, Prison Mitch. I'm going to be beating up this Asian all day. So, what's happening in the world of locals and Rumble? What else stories we got? This jack off Gary Lineker. He's like a BBC journalist. Calls the U.S. an extraordinarily racist country. And this is a guy who thinks that whatever happened in the World Cup in Qatar these last few weeks, he thinks it's going to be like Qatar on steroids during the 2026 World Cup when it's being hosted by the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, aka the Cum Nations. Canada, U.S., Mexico. It's the World Cum. The 2026 FIFA World Cum. So yes. Gary Lineker, he thinks that look, if any of you want to talk about how like racist America is, like that's fine. It's your right to do so. It's a free country. What I'll not tolerate, and Jay, if you put your headphones on, Jay, what I will not tolerate, Jay, is when dirty foreigners like BBC journalists, namely Gary Lineker, talking about how racist America is. Bitch, you don't even live here.
Right. And the funny thing is that Europe as a whole is like 1,000 times more racist than the United States. It's fucking insane how racist Europe is. The reason why a lot of immigrants, especially like Muslim immigrants and stuff like that, don't assimilate as well in Europe as they do here in the United States is because of how discriminated against they are and racism, how rampant racism is in Europe. It's fucking insane.
Immigrants in the U.S. assimilate so well because we want them to. Like we actively encourage sharing other people's cultures with each other. And if we did, and it got weird in like the last decade when people were talking about, cultural appropriation and, how dare you wear that sombrero on Cinco de Mayo? How dare you wear that kimono to your prom? Like, it's obviously the awfuls, the affluent white feminist urban liberals who ruined everything.
And Asians, for some fucking reason, Asian women are exactly up there as well. It's so weird.
Well, hold on. What type of?
No, American Asian women.
We're talking about like the most American. Like, there's like definitely a gradient of like.
I'm talking about the ones who go to like Berkeley or go to UCLA
super Americanized,
Americanized, super whitewashed. It is insane, like how bought into this stuff that they are as well. And the thing is, like if you go to immigrants and you go enjoy their food or you go cook their food for them, they love that shit. They are absolutely willing and wanting to share their fucking culture and their foods and their way of life and all that kind of stuff with you and want you to enjoy it. The fact that we have to say that you have to, drive in your lane is just, it dampers it. And not only will it damper it, it would also not allow them to be like shown to the public in a more positive manner to the world.
Yeah,
it's just insane to me that they want to limit the outreach of different cultures and different
It's
traditions.
Jay. It's the Ryan Long, Danny Polishuk sketch that we love, the woke and racist, where they actually agree on stuff. It is a culmination of that, where you have people who are so woke that they will literally self-segregate to avoid being racist, but end up being racist. Master Thief on Local says, never ask a woman her age, a man his salary, or a European what he really thinks of immigrants.
That's fucking true.
This is our favorite segment of the show. It's Ask Us Anything. We got a few minutes here. And it's honestly, so like, let's take, for example, your family, my family. I'd say I don't know how, I haven't met your father. You met my Bubba. You saw how Americanized he is, and how like he loves this country. He knows all the cultural references. He is a valuable member of society, and
a heart surgeon, like making his father proud. Unlike,
it's not like
unlike us.
Oh my god, we got Bike Practicer over on Rumble with the super chat. I hope you can get that, Spencer, and throw it up on the screen on the banner. We'll read it here in just a moment. But basically, our families assimilated so much. Particularly, our fathers assimilated so much. They married white women.
Yeah, and as white as they can become. My mom is from Arkansas, German Irish, and like her family is half from Alabama. The rest are German. It's fucking. And my dad is 100% Lebanese. I'm straight 50-50. I did the 21andMe. So they have all my genetic information, especially like, when I'm going to go bald, how white I'm actually 53% more white than I am Arab. That's how white my mom is.
Wow. So white that like it actually, it's whitewashing your Lebanese away. Bike Practicer on Rumble says, Habibi, so this is where the show went. Hope you guys and everyone else are doing well. BP, come join us in the locals chat. The link is in the description of this video. That's where all the Habibis are hanging. If you want something a little bit more intimate. You want to know why, Jay?
Because we're family.
That's right, we're family. Prison Mitch on locals, and I hope you got this, Spencer, question from Prison Mitch. Any day now. Spencer, who is literally the world's worst producer. God damn it, Spencer. Could you please, for the love of God, there we go. Prison Mitch on local says, what do you all think about the conspiracies about Grant Wall's death? Now, Grant Wall, the coroner, reported after a medical examination, reported that the late Fox Sports, or I wouldn't say Fox Sports, but at least soccer journalist. Was he Fox Sports? I can't recall, Jay.
American journalist. I think he worked
American sports journalist.
Yeah.
All right. The American sports journalist died of an aortic aneurysm, which is sad because if my dad had been there at the time, he probably could have saved them.
Yes. As proud Indians of do. Oh, I'm sorry, Pakistani. I apologize.
Jesus Christ.
I'm so sorry.
Talking about a man who's dead, who just died of an aortic aneurysm, and you can't get off the topic of Indians. I truly think you're definitely going to hell.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Fuck. I mean, if there is a hell, I am absolutely going to be there.
So Grant Wall collapsed in the middle of the Netherlands-Argentina match, or near the end of it. And he is the same journalist who was, I think, kicked out of a particular match in the group stage for wearing a rainbow shirt, basically showing solidarity with the LGBTQ community. And he's actually been, he was pretty vocal about speaking out against the modern day slavery conditions of Qatar, which, I respect. And he got clowned. He got clowned pretty hard for wearing that rainbow shirt, and then he just died. And you have to wonder, was there some like level of foul play at hand? Is the U.S. gonna have to invade Qatar to avenge one of its fallen? Jay, you and I would probably have to pick up our AK-47s and go fight for Qatar.
I know it's very coincidental from him being banned and stuff, and the way things work over there, and how, I mean, it's very hard not to go into a conspiracy theory spiral over a death like this. It really isn't. And he was taken to the hospital in an Uber, and was
terrible.
There was like a lot of different things that went into play here, and it's very questionable. It really is, over his death. And
I wouldn't be surprised if like there was something that caused it. Look, an aortic aneurysm just doesn't happen like that. He was 41 years old or something like that.
Yeah, and he didn't look, and it's not like he looked like he was suffering from obesity or not eating properly or having any condition in for it to have that. Now, we don't know his lifestyle, we don't know things that surround it or whatever, right. But it all intents and purposes just shows that there's a very questionable. There's a question surrounding his death and the way he died. It's very.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair to ask questions about the
treatment of him,
the situation surrounding his death,
the hospital, all of it. Yeah,
a lot of it just seems shady, and it's unfortunate that we got to bring that up because it's not obviously not a very lighthearted story. Let's finish on a high note, right, Jay? Let's finish on a high note.
Always.
What else we got here? Okay. Respect for marriage act, Jay. We can finally get married. Oh, I don't have Ern. Where's Ernie? I should probably go get him.
Yeah, go get Ern.
My wife's gonna kill me.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go get him. Yeah, actually, I'll get Ernie. It's Ern time. Let's get him.
Let's get our president. What's up, Habibis? I still got some makeup on, and I think I'm gonna go out afterwards in makeup to show my solidarity with Grant being killed. I mean, if you can't make light of a situation, then life's not worth living. But yeah, go ahead and put your questions in before Oh fuck, he's here. All right, stop talking about Siraj, everybody. But yes, he's gay.
He's finally here. Ernie, say what you want into the mic. It's actually been a minute. It's been a minute since Ernie's been on the show.
Right, and what's really funny, Ern doesn't really bark that much.
Only when you enter the house, right, Jay?
Well, yeah, he's like, the king is here.
The king is here. Good boy.
Look at him.
Yes. Oh,
he is such a beautiful dog.
He's a good boy.
He is. When I move down to Florida, I'm planning to get a dog.
Inshallah. But it's not Ernie. But you can't have Ernie.
No, I'm gonna get a bigger dog.
But it can't be thicker than Ernie.
No, because I'm going to make sure he's on a good diet.
Good. Fuzzy says, Jay, how did it feel to get bent over by Fuzzy this week in fantasy?
Honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing with fantasy football and everything. As long as I beat Carl this week, I think it's going to be great. Out of all the times I played Carl, and it's really hilarious because Carl is one of the Habibis who orchestrates the fantasy league. He makes it all possible and all that kind of stuff, and he really does a lot of research in it. I do not, and I am undefeated. I am undefeated against Carl. And today and next week is going to be the first game of the I think the champion quarterfinals or whatever, or semifinals or whatever it's called. I don't know what it is in fantasy.
Playoffs, Jay. Fantasy
Playoffs. Thank
playoffs.
you. Playoffs. And I am sure not going to know who I'm putting in, what I'm doing, but I am going to beat them.
I got knocked out of the playoffs this past weekend, so Fuzzy asking me about whether I actually set my lineup. I don't care anymore.
It doesn't matter.
Care.
It doesn't matter. But we should do the one chip challenge for whoever's in last place, which is going to be.
That's the only reason why I would care, is to not do the one chip challenge. Although maybe I should deliberately tank so I can do it.
Oh my God. I mean, I did the one chip challenge last week and I had no reaction. I would love to see you do it.
I'm pretty sure Emily will absolutely murder me.
Oh, dude, she would have to take you to the hospital.
Yeah. And I've already been, not because of the one chip challenge, but just because I ate normal food.
Yeah, you had hummus or something.
Hummus. So, anyways, Habibis, that's been the show. Hope you all have a wonderful night. Make sure you go follow us, hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and check out our locals community. And obviously follow us on Twitter at Habibi_Bros. You can find me on Twitter at Siraj Hashmi. Where can they find you, Jay?
At Aslikin.
And Spencer, pop in here, say hello, say salami and bacon.
Hey everyone. Hi. Salami your bacon? Is that what it is?
Salami your bacon.
Salami and bacon.
Salami and bacon. How are you doing, everyone?
Shut up, Spencer. Get the hell out of here.
Damn.
Spencer, our producer. You can find him on Twitter at Spencer_Sex. He does a good job. Oh, we got 911 people watching right now on the Rumble. 900. Alhamdulillah. And we will leave on that note, Habibis. I've been Siraj Hashmi.
I've been Mujahed Kobbe.
And we'll see you next time on Habibi Power Hour. List is coming this week. Join us Thursday night, 9:30, or whatever time I decide to go live. Peace. Masalama.